I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes, so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
Welcome to the Sport Report.
Saturday, June 22nd, 2019.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. It's time to get you caught up on what's happening in the world of sports. This is Top of the Order.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
This is Top of the Order.
Our top story comes from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, where the LA Dodgers win against the Colorado Rockies 4-2. Walker Buehler is the main story from this game. He had 16 strikeouts, 15 of which were swinging strikeouts. That's the second most swinging strikeouts by a starting pitcher in the last 10 seasons. Most importantly, Walker Buehler pitched a complete game, 16 strikeout, no walk game. That's pretty incredible for a pitcher. He's the first Dodger pitcher in history. And you got to think about the Dodgers. They've been around since the 19th century. Brooklyn, LA, New York. You got to think about it. And yes, we know Brooklyn and New York can be the same thing. We're getting off track. The point here is you have to think about the history of the Dodgers. It's a long, long time. Walker Buehler is the first Dodger pitcher to have 15 strikeouts or more and 0 walks. It was 2-2 heading into the bottom of the ninth when Matt Beatty hit a walk-off 2-run home run off the Rockies bullpen. Diaz is credited with the loss. Walker Buehler credited with the win. Buehler is now 8-1 on the season with a 2.96 ERA for the Dodgers. Walker Buehler is under the age of 25, might I remind you. He's gonna be a star, and he's already proving that he is a star. He's breaking records that have never been broken before until last night. Well, Major League Baseball was the only sport that was on aside from the College World Series in Omaha. We'll get to that in our baseball segment coming up right now.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
Touch 'em all, Joe. Home run! Mike Piazza! Jeter backhands from the outfield grass. Got it! Man, what a play!
Now from Major League Baseball.
14 other games on the calendar in Major League Baseball will start at Wrigley Field, where the New York Mets defeated the Chicago Cubs 5-4. Edwin Diaz gets his 16th save of the year for the Mets. Washington Nationals 4, Atlanta Braves 3. Dallas Keuchel started for the Braves after being signed to a contract a couple of weeks ago. He had a rehab start in AAA and then got called up to the majors for his first Major League start of the year, but he got the loss. He's got a 5.4 ERA for the Braves after one start, but Keuchel did well. 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Steven Strasburg improves to 8-4 with a 3.79 ERA for the Nationals. Miami Marlins 2, Philadelphia Phillies 1. Aaron Nola falls to 6-2 on the season for the Phillies. Pittsburgh Pirates 2, San Diego Padres 1. New York Yankees 4, Houston Astros 1. There were no 8 homers between two teams type of games here, but James Paxton improves to 5-3 with a 3.75 ERA for the Yankees. Brad Peacock falls to 6-5 with a 3.62 ERA for the Astros. Aroldis Chapman gets another save for the Yankees, his 21st of the season. Cleveland Indians 7, Detroit Tigers 6. In 10 innings, Chicago White Sox 5, Texas Rangers 4. Nomar Mazara hit a 505-foot home run, longest in a StatCast era. StatCast is the advanced metrics that MLB uses throughout the season. It almost broke StatCast. Trevor Story hit a 505-foot home run on September 5th, 2018. That was the longest home run. Now Mazara ties that record set by Story, who's on the IL for the Rockies right now with a thumb strain. Cincinnati Reds 11, Milwaukee Brewers 7, Minnesota Twins 8, Kansas City Royals 7. There are a lot of 7s and a lot of 5s on the scoreboard last night. San Francisco Giants 11, Arizona Diamondbacks 5. Jeff Samardzija improves to 4-6 with a 4.23 ERA for the Giants. Alex Dickerson has a 6 RBI RBI game, including a grand salami for the Giants. His 6 RBIs proved to be the difference in this ballgame. Tampa Bay Rays 5, Oakland Athletics 3. Oakland starting pitcher Frankie Montas, he did not pitch in this game, but he is one of their aces. He has been suspended for 80 games for using performance-enhancing drugs, also known as PEDs. Seattle Mariners 10, Baltimore Orioles 9. Mike Leake is 7-6 on the season with a 4.54 ERA for the Mariners. 2 more games on the calendar. Boston Red Sox 7, Toronto Blue Jays 5 in 10 innings. The Blue Jays led 5-1 entering the bottom half of the 7th inning at Fenway Park before the Red Sox scored 3 in the bottom half of the 7th and 1 in the bottom half of the 8th to tie the game to go to extras. And then it was a walk-off home run from veteran catcher Christian Vasquez. And the Red Sox improve to 42-35 on the season. They're creeping up on the Yankees and the Rays. And in the final game of the night, a wonderful story here. Albert Pujols, who used to play for the St. Louis Cardinals, returned to St. Louis for the first time since his release in 2011. He got a wonderful standing ovation. He loved it, and they love him. Albert is very beloved in St. Louis and LA. But it would be the Cardinals, his former team, who defeated the Angels, his current team, 5-1. Michael Wacha improves to 5-3 on the season for the Cardinals. And if you're wondering how Pujols did in his return, he went 1 for 2 before being pulled for a pinch hitter. He also was walked once in the ballgame. And finally, in the College World Series, there were 2 games on the calendar. First, it was Michigan versus Texas Tech. Michigan Wolverines 15, Texas Tech Red Raiders 3. Texas Tech walked 12 Michigan batters, the most walks in a College World Series game since 2011. Michigan will face Vanderbilt, who defeated Louisville 3-2. They came from behind the Commodores. Luke Smith for Louisville had 8 strong innings. He only allowed 3 hits on the evening, but then he said a few words, and we're not going to repeat those words because we're a family-friendly show. But he said some words he probably shouldn't have said, and his mama would be very disappointed in him, and that fired up the Vanderbilt dugout. And then Vanderbilt went out and scored 2 runs in the top half of the 9th, and nothing could be done by Louisville in the bottom half of the 9th, so the Commodores will face Michigan in the best of 3 College World Series final that begins on Monday in Omaha, Nebraska. There were no Women's World Cup games yesterday, but there are 2 on the calendar for today. In the round of 16 at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, it's Germany versus Nigeria, and then at 3 p.m. Eastern, Norway versus Australia. That's the Sport Report for Saturday, June 22nd, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com.
This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.